Hello YouTube, welcome to Drift Week. We're here on day 4 at Hallett Motor Raceway Speedway Park. I'm here with Ben Hobson. The purpose of this video is to chat with someone incredibly on a meteoric rise in drifting. He's not quite crazy influential like he's going to be in the future. He is a driver that has been focusing on his driving and becoming a professional and just like skyrocketing in skill and everything that it takes to be on that path. And we're seeing him on the beginning of his journey. He's like 5 years in, and right now we're talking to, in a lot of our videos, people like Goblo that's running some weird international business with customers and blah, 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 all this stuff. And I think Ben's just getting started, which is really interesting because in 5 years, like we keep doing these interviews, and if you go back on them, there's not a lot of substance other than you're a really happy guy that's really good at driving, and you know you're gonna go somewhere. And right now you're getting there and you've gotten there, if you know what I mean. And the next step is what you're going to build upon. So I want to chat with him and he's going to tell us a little bit about his backstory real quickly, what he's doing right now, because I didn't realize he was an actual monster athlete yet. I thought he was just like faking the funk with that hat.
Fake it till I make it?
No, he's killing it. He's like literally an energy drink sponsored like athlete, which is what everyone wants to be when they want to be in race cars. Like you're at the top. Are you actually a Ford-backed driver and everything too?
Ford Performance, yep.
So he's a Ford Performance driver, like he's a factory-backed driver. There's literally nothing higher in racing than being a factory-backed driver with factory support and also an energy drink guy, and then also good at what you do. And then also he smiles and is charismatic, he's young, he gets to push all this stuff for decades. Okay, so quick, tell me about how you got started in drifting and, you know, not too much time. And kind of where it's been going, how you got to Formula D, and then we'll really dig in and talk about like what you're doing right now.
Absolutely. So, you know, my racing background started when I was about 4 years old, started racing motocross, fell in love with that adrenaline, chasing the adrenaline. Raced for several years, broke many bones. And then with age comes a cage. So I got into cars when I was about 18.
18, he's too old to do motocross.
Yeah, 18, I'm too old to do motocross because I got self-induced scoliosis from one of the crashes.
Oh, God.
But no, I got a Mustang when I turned 17 or 18. And I played like Forza and that kind of games like that. I drifted on there with my buddies and whatnot, but I just like started playing around in real life, and then I found out that it's like a real thing, and there's a local track in Pensacola where I lived in Florida, and would go out there and I'd watch people, and then I met a dude named Alec Honadell, which everybody knows Alec Honadell. He was out there driving, he was still in Pro-Am, got a ride along with the guy, and me and him became best friends. I fell in love with the sport. I immediately just went full-fledged. Sold my Mustang, my daily driver. I bought a street bike to drive around. I bought a 240 for 750 bucks. I set a goal. I was in your inbox since probably 2014, sending you pictures of my build, like, bro, I'm coming to your series. I've been watching this. I'm coming to Lone Star Drift. This is my car, yada, yada, yada. It's got RB25 in it. You're like, sick. I blew up the RB before I got out there. Put an LS in it. Showed up to your event, your series, in 2018. I did 3 years of your series. First year I showed up, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Showed up with 12 tires, ran out of tires in practice, didn't even have tires for comp, borrowed some tires from somebody, just like completely screwed up, missed 4 out of the 7 events, finished like 25th my first year, and I was like, okay, next year I'm coming back stronger. Came back, first round, blew my motor up. Then Austin Wyatt, with that gray 350Z, had the LS 350Z. He threw me the keys to his car. I got 3rd place in his car out there. Set me up in 3rd place in points for the start of the series. I held my spot, finished 5th for the year, had a lot of car issues. And then next year, you had the shootout because you stopped doing the licensing because of you're all about seat time and not pushing rules and stuff like that, which I'm all about. I showed up as a driver and I left a driver. Ended up winning your series because of you. I was stressed, I wasn't doing too well. You came over, you had to talk with me. You're like, hey, stop being stupid here. You're being dumb here, do this, and you'll be fine. And I went and I listened to you, I did it. I won the whole event, won my license. Came back to several events since then, you know, at your stuff. I went to HPA to the Hoonigan for the Hoonigan license or Burnyard ticket and whatnot. So I've always just loved Lone Star Drift. The vibe, the seat time, the skill set that's out there is just, it's unmatched in Pro-Am series, in my opinion. So I traveled. I would drive 18 hours through the night after work Friday afternoon and get to your event Saturday morning, no sleep. And I would work, wrench on my car, go race, break some crap, go back out, drive home Sunday, get back at it Monday, back to work, and then wait for the next race, you know what I mean? So it's like, I was dedicated. I was like, I am going to do this, I'm gonna do well, and I'm setting goals. Got into Pro Spec, and I set a goal for myself for 3 years' time to win a championship. It took me 3 years to win my license. I was like, well, it takes the first year to get used to it, the second year to hone in, and third year to go hard. So went into Pro Spec. First year, I finished 10th place. Went on Drift Week, another Drift Week with you in the off season. Came back, podiumed the first round because I just had so much seat time in the off season because of Drift Week. Went on to do the same, and had some car issues that year too. Nothing but car issues, actually, my whole freaking career. So I finished 10th again, but it was my first FD podium, so I was stoked. I had what it needed. And then Odie Bocci's gave me a call that off season. He's like, what are you doing next year? Yada, yada, yada. I want you to drive my car. And I was like, just blown away, because I was kind of bummed at myself, to be honest with you. I've invested so much time and so much money, I just keep getting 10th. The car keeps breaking. It's just like, I want a car that works. So I show up in the next round. Next year, Odie hands me the keys to the car. I go out and shoot a test drive in it out at Willow. And he looked at me after I done drive it. He said, you think you can win a championship in this? And I said, absolutely. This car is a monster. I can win a championship in it. If it stays together, I promise you we'll win. We set 2 records in Pro Spec that year. We did 3 first place qualifiers in a row. We did a 101-point lead after the series was over. And I just got to drive and showcase my skill set. The car wasn't holding me back this year. It was just like, okay, I get seat time this year. I get seat time and I get to drive. Fast forward to the last round. We have the championship pretty much in the bag right after qualifying. We're about to go to autograph signing. And I look at my phone when I get back to my rig, and it's like a DM on Instagram said Vaughn Gittin Jr. And I was like, no way. I actually thought it was Cody Witherspoon, because his is Vaughn Gittin, or Junior or whatever. Yeah. So I was like, no, wait, that's actually Vaughn. So I click on it, and he's straight up, yo, what are you doing next season? I want to talk to you about what your plans are. So I freaked out, dude, and I texted him back. I was like, yeah, I'm down to talk whenever you want to. So he's like, come over to the rig and we'll talk before the autograph signing. I was like, all right, cool. So I snuck over to his rig because I didn't want people seeing me go over there, because we were trying to be secretive about it. Me and my dad had a meeting with him, and it's just like dead set, you know what I mean? He's like, all right, we're looking at a couple more drivers, but we just wanted to put this in front of you and see if you would be up for it. And I was like, I'm absolutely up for it, dude. Give me the piece of paper. I'll sign it right now. Like, how much ever you need me to drive, I'll do it. And about a month later, we were in Vegas doing the discount tire demo. Vaughn had me out there driving for him. And after that, we went on a truck ride, and he called my dad. Got my dad on the phone, because my dad's a huge part of my program, always has been, always will be. And pretty much just said, hey, your son is my new driver. Just to let you know, we've chosen him, and we want him to be our new RTR pilot. And I was like, holy crap. I never even, I dreamed of it, driving these RTR cars. Everybody does. Let's be real. These cars are insane. But I never thought of it to be, could be factual. And, all of a sudden my life changed, dude, in the best way possible. I've just all this hard work and dedication and hours of driving through the night and hours of no sleep and countless car braking, and it all just set me up to be who I am and get to where I'm at, because a car break now, it's just I'm used to it. It's okay. I can drive around it. It's not a big deal. You can have people that freak out. You can have people that get really, really, really upset if they mess up, and it's just if you're upset, you're not thinking. So if you messed up, you need to think about what you did. So I don't ever really get mad at myself or anything like that, because as long as I leave the track a better driver than I showed up, I won. That whole event, I won. I don't care who left with the trophy. In my heart, I won because I progressed. And that's what drifting's about. Every time you drive, if you're not getting better, then what are you doing, right? So you should be better in the car every time you get in it. And that's felt like this whole year, every single round, I've got better and better and better and better. And it's just like, this car is the hardest thing in the world to drive. Insanely. They're opposite of everything I've ever driven. I had to like relearn driving, which was not like a bad thing, but it was like every input that I'm used to with S chassis don't apply to this car at all. So, you know, it was nice having James and Vaughn and Chelsea kind of like in my ear a little bit, telling me, you know, giving me, you know, hey, if you lift, it's going where the front tires are pointing, bud, so don't lift. Yes, sir. All right, got it. If I'm about to hit a wall, just floor it and turn in, just like always. But it's not like a, you know, S chassis. You work the clutch to get grip. These cars, you don't. If you touch that clutch, you're screwed. So it's just, the car makes you such a better driver because you are not scared of anything. You have to fully commit at every single venue you go into. And I drove 4 of the venues. 4 of them were new for me. So I was in a new car going into Long Beach, round 1. The scariest track, in my opinion, of Formula D, and it's just like nothing but walls, but I just gotta like not think about that and just like, okay, let's go drive this car.
Yeah.
And, you know, this year has honestly been the most humbling, but the best year of my life for driving because I have learned so much, I've grown so much as a person, I've grown so much as a driver. You know, the amount of progress that I've done in the car and out of the car, I feel like is tremendous in my, you know, career outside of the track of being, you know, me and being having, you know, social running and putting out videos for people to see and, you know, having the fans that the support it's amazing. And that's what I do it for. I just do it to make people smile because, you know, if I like do a sick lap and you're over there cheesing, I'm like, come past you cheesing because you're cheesing, you know what I mean? It's like, all right, cool, I made him happy, I'm happy now, you know what I mean? So that's what it's about for me. And this sport, I feel like, is the best sport to showcase that because you have a blank canvas and you can do whatever you want in the car. As long as you hit those zones, you do it however you want to, you know what I mean? It's just so many different things and it allows you to be yourself. And that's one thing that I've really taken advantage of is being myself, not caring, not giving a crap what people think about me. Never have, never will. Negativity is just like, I don't read into it because it's negative, you know what I mean? Just like I told you a while ago, if it's not gonna bother me in 5 years, then why waste 5 minutes on it? So this year has just been like an eye-opener for what's to come in the future for me.
I've been listening, and he had such a clean train of thought for like 10 minutes. I don't think we've ever had another like interviewer have one unbroken train of thought that long that they carried on and didn't get scatterbrained or anything. That was really good.
Thank you.
I always think of Ben as like a scatterbrained, super happy-go-lucky guy that's just like, squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. And like, that was really good. Okay, so let's go now into what it takes to be an energy drink, like, you know, full sponsored Ford driver and everything else. What do you do when you wake up? How often are you at events, like doing activation stuff? What actually does it mean to be a Monster energy drink person? Are you like posing with girls everywhere? Are you going to like private jets and flying around to like some Monster drink energy thing?
No, nothing like that. Nothing like that.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You see all these things Mad Mike does.
Yeah.
Are they asking you to build like crazy cars to go do something? Are they, what is the expectations of all
So
this?
Monster has been super chill about having really no expectations at all, except going out there, putting out media, wearing their hat and supporting the brand, you know what I mean? So it's like, they don't send me a list of, hey, you need to do this. It's, we make media, we do our driving, we have fun, and they love it. So being with them has been amazing because it's like the corporate there is laid back. It's not like, you know, straight edge, we got to do this, we got to do that. It's like, hey, you're wearing my hat, go out there, keep the hat on, have fun, interact, get pictures, have a Monster can with you, you know what I mean? Support the product. They support us, we support them. So
Do you just carry that around so you can use it?
no, I actually, as soon as you say we have an
Is
interview.
it the same can for everything?
No, this is new, bro. This is that new Ultra Vice Guava. It's freaking fire. It's the winter thing. It's good. I don't drink a lot of them, but when I do, that's good.
And how about being a Ford like factory back driver? What does that mean?
It's great. You know, Vaughn set all that up. He's the one that's earned all of Ford's respect and all of Ford's love and stuff like that. And I just get to kind of reap the benefits of it. And
what are the benefits? Do they give you a Ford F-250 to drive around?
No.
Do they
So
give you a Mustang?
you win a championship being a Ford driver, you get a vehicle of your choice.
Ooh.
So
see,
like,
this is the stuff we want to hear
like
about.
Chelsea, you've seen Chelsea's new King Ranch down there. That
Oh, they gave him a
F350.
truck? Why didn't he get like a Ford GT or something?
That's what he wanted. He wanted a nice pickup.
Would they give you a Ford GT?
I think there's a price limit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think there's a price
Cheap
limit.
out a little bit. Although that Ford truck is probably $120,000.
It's probably 120, 130 grand. So.
Okay, keep going.
Like, you know, James this year, he won the championship. About to get whatever vehicle he chooses.
What's he going to choose?
I don't know. I told him to talk him into getting him a GTD. They're like, I don't know if we can do that because those cars are so limited. But
This is crazy because like the audience, I didn't know that the drivers got that.
Yep.
What else do they get?
I don't really know yet. I'll tell you whenever I win.
You're like, it's going to be a little
I just get to see what other people do. Yeah, it's going to be a little
So how many events are you driving at a year as a Ford driver? Are you going to Barrett-Jackson and like demos?
This year
SEMA?
I have been to, I did my my daily calendar thing the other day. I had 26 days outside of FD that I was driving the car. And I had 26 days outside of FD that I was traveling to these events. So count the other 8 weeks for FD and then test days and stuff like that. I've literally, this year has full on by, dude. And if I'm not driving, then I go home, I get on a sim, practice for the next track, hone in on the skill, just try to learn layouts. You can't really replicate those cars in any video game, period. But the tracks, you can replicate muscle memory. So I do that a lot. I like, it's just keeping you on your toes. You can't get rusty. So if these cars, you don't get to drive them so often because they are so expensive to drive. And that's where the sim comes perfect for me. So I'll hop on the sim, hop on, what if Long Beach? We're going to Long Beach? All right, cool. Playing Long Beach for the next 3 weeks, So there's a lot of nonstop, it's a lot of work, but at the same time, it's worth it. It's what I signed up for back in 2014 when I bought my 240. I wanted this stuff.
How many how many workers does it take to run one of those FD cars at an FD event for the total team, including like a cook or
total
someone
team?
to run and
I think
grab
we have
stuff?
20 or 25 employees at FD.
Per team or for both cars?
No, for both cars and the Fun Haver Tour.
Okay, so roughly like eight people to run the car or something.
Yeah,
like
I'll
that.
have 3 to 4 on my car. We have a team, like a team manager, Ray Shake. He's our team manager. He's a tuner. He does everything. He checks over everything. And then we have our car crew chiefs, and then we have our spotters, and then we have 2 other mechanics that are fuel and tires, and whatever needs to be done, they're doing it. So we're 3 to 4 people per car. And then that doesn't include the truck driver that's there that goes and gets us food, any of the social media managers that are there, all the media guys that are there, the Fun Haver Tour, that's, Cody, he runs it. So we got simulators, we got all kinds of different games that put on. So it's a huge ordeal every single weekend, you know what I mean? But the amount of smiles that we produce over there is amazing. Everybody just gets so happy to come over there and get to play, sim at the track that we're doing and drive these RTR cars on these sims. So it's like,
all right, where do you go from here?
Where do we go from here?
Do you just keep doing this for the next 10 years?
Yeah.
Or do you want to start some type of business off of it or branch out? Like Chelsea's obviously stopped and is going to do something else.
Yeah.
He says he's not going to go back to competitive drifting,
He'll be
but
back.
Maybe he does.
He'll be back.
What do you think as he becomes irrelevant? No, I'm joking.
Yeah, right. Never going to be irrelevant. He's a G.
No, he is. What is the next step? Because otherwise you could just do the exact same thing, which is totally fine. I mean, once you get to the top, where you're going to go.
Yeah.
But you have all these opportunities to do something else on top of it as well.
Well, I'm planning.
Like Vaughn obviously became a team owner, you know what I mean?
So
You
my
could do so many
plan in the
things.
future is to keep growing with RTR because it's not just drifting. It's a lifestyle. You know what I mean? The company has all kinds of different activations and off-road and on-road and everything. I love driving. I love motorsports. I will always see myself being in motorsports. My girlfriend, she fully supports it. She's in motorsports. She loves it. There's like no reason for me to ever want to get out of it because this is what I love. I love doing what I do, and if you love your job, then you never work a day in your life. They say that. So like this is hard work. It's a lot of sweat, sitting in these cars, doing demos, sitting in them for hours at a time, doing ride-alongs. But you don't think about that whenever everybody's over there just screaming and clapping and smiling and whatnot, and they don't get to do this kind of stuff. So it's like it's a privilege to give people these experiences like you have, you introduce so many people experiences by taking them to Japan and doing Drift Week, doing all this stuff, and it's just like, it's cool to be able to share those experiences that you have with other people.
And you do it on a more crazy dopamine level of thousands of people watching you with that crazy car and everything else.
Insane, dude.
Yeah, it's nuts. So, how old are you right now?
30.
You're 30 already?
I'll be 31 in January.
That's crazy.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, so you're 30, you probably do this for another 10 years and you'll have to figure something out.
I'll have to figure something out.
Like, not just figure it out, but like another direction. You probably won't want to stay, but that leaves you really young to start the next thing. That's crazy. One other thing I'll say, God, that's like one of my lines in the interviews. He was a Lone Star Drift driver, and I felt for a long time like we didn't have a lot of successful Lone Star Drift drivers transition into Formula D and then really get to the high echelons of it and stay. We had Chelsea, we had a bunch of other people that kind of like petered out and stuff. You and Nick Novak are murdering it right now, both you guys.
Thank you.
Chelsea's already fallen out because he's so old, but we still have 2 guys deep in it. And that's kind of like the end of that little legacy kind of thing. And now we're going on to like, we have all these people doing Drift Week, we're around all these crazy YouTubers, we're going on trips, we're doing like, I did an LZ party and like we had almost 10,000 people at that thing I hosted during a Drift Week.
Dude.
You know what I mean? Like, you were there, weren't you?
Oh yeah, in New Jersey.
Yeah,
oh
New
yeah,
Jersey.
that was insane.
So I was gonna say, we've been doing all these crazy things. If I can dream it up and get it done, it's interesting and neat. And then like, right now you have a brand new like 2024 Mustang that's supercharged and all that stuff out there. Like the level of everything. We had a Rolls Royce drifting yesterday.
Dude, I saw that. He pulled up beside me. I was
not
like,
super,
no way,
not
dude.
super successful.
Yeah,
he was still out there.
He was on the track trying to slide a Rolls Royce. That's
so like, and he obviously is on the trip in a real drift car and everything. That's just like a goofy thing he was doing. Like drifting keeps scaling to crazier levels with more money and more experiences. And it's not about the money, it's the experiences and the craziness. Because like, you're probably at the highest level of this right now, rewiring your brain, where like someone like yourself couldn't imagine being in the spot you're in that RTR car. But for instance, I jumped in that Rolls Royce and I've never been in a Rolls Royce. And somehow you think Rolls Royce is the fanciest thing on earth. And like you don't hold, like I didn't want one, so I don't hold it to a crazy level, but it's a crazy level because you're like, that must be some like luxurious thing with butlers. And you get it in and you're like, oh, it's like a big Volkswagen. You know what I mean? Like it's a really big, nice Volkswagen, but you're like, it's not insane.
It's not insane.
It's not like faster than a normal car, even though it has like a twin turbo V12. Like an S13 with an SR and it's faster.
But it weighs what, like 13,000 pounds probably?
Yeah, it weighs a lot.
Big body.
But you know, like a new F250 with massaging seats and like everything is literally almost as nice as a Rolls Royce.
Absolutely.
So I was gonna say, it rewires your brain to understand that money is not that important unless it buys you like the ability to not be at work and do the things you want and experiences. But like, you don't care about these things. Like you have just as much fun in a Z or your R33 in Japan or whatever than you probably do in an RTR car. The RTR car is rad, but it's also more stressful, more money, more everything, but you don't necessarily have more like happy fun and dopamine response and everything. So
well, it's kind of hard, to be honest with you, to beat the adrenaline rush that you get whenever you drive that freaking RTR car. Pulling a wheelie around the whole track, no matter what, every time you touch it, it's just like, okay, I'm doing a wheelie. Like, those cars are the biggest adrenaline rush. But yeah, I get what you're saying with the fun aspect of being able to.
Is it 100 times more work and money, adrenaline rush? Than you like just jumping Minami in your shit box.
You're right.
That you could also die in.
You
that also pulls
right.
the wheel up that you jumped the thing.
And it probably shouldn't be up.
No.
It's probably up because it's bent.
Just saying, you're getting to the top of something, and then you can look down, and you're like, life is good even at the bottom.
Absolutely.
You just have to be able to enjoy
Whenever I go
yourself.
to a local track and I bring my G35 out for Sunday to drive my girlfriend, I'll hop in and do a lap and just like hot dog the crap out of it. And it's just like, dude, you can have fun in whatever you have. Dude. It doesn't matter.
He's like, you can have fun in anything, but also a 2024 800 wheel Mustang that has color shifting lights.
But the thing about the new Mustangs is they're so great from the factory. I mean, we do the Mustang Unleashed, the Mustang Unleashed things at FD. We did them at Long Beach and Road Atlanta this year. And literally, I'll get done with practice. I'll get out of the 1,500 horsepower RTR car, go hop in a bone stock Mustang, and me and Vaughn are throwing tandems in the parking lot.
Is it 1,500 horsepower for those things?
It can be.
What?
It can be.
That's crazy.
It's normally like, it depends on the track.
Is there a difference between like 900 and 1,500?
Yeah.
Like, what does it do? What's different?
Your neck.
It goes faster?
Bro, you start driving with your eyes because it's hard to move your neck.
Really?
Oh man, if you watch any of my in-car footage, especially like Irwindale, that long bank where you're just matted at 9,000 RPMs for what it feels like 45 seconds. Your head's just, you're pulling your head forward the whole time and you're just looking with your eyes like this. You're just like, okay, I'm drifting.
Does your seat hold your head in?
Oh yeah, it holds.
So like you can't do that? Or can you move quite a bit?
No, after my accident in Seattle, we put some stronger head pads in it, and because my seating position with my cage wasn't optimal for me, but it was optimal for my vision, and that's what I chose. I chose to see, so it was my choice, and now we're actually building a new chassis that's got a brand new cage that's tucked all the way up to the roof, and I have plenty of room now, and I'll be able to be more comfortable and have a seat positioning that's right for me and not because the car.
What it was.
Yeah. So
very cool.
The comfortability aspect's about to get 10 times better. But yeah, we put such tight padding in there that so my head wouldn't move. Yeah. That it was hard to move.
Can you
my
get
head.
2 laps out of a set of tires at 1,500 horsepower?
Depends on the track.
Really?
Like Irwindale, I chased first and led. In practice every single time. Chase first and then lead because that's what my first battle was. And my lead, by the time I got into outside zone 2, I would literally just throw a backy into outside zone 2, touch the wall with the bumper, and the wall would hold me from going back anymore.
Really?
Oh my God, it was great. Like that car, it still drove, still amazing, but you lose a lot of drive whenever you're just roasting the car. So we turned the power down a lot to affiliate for the tracks.
Is that obviously like a technique where you have all your tire on for your chase lap, and then when you lead, the car is naturally loose because you have and you just like hang it out, and then they just stuff it into you, and then you're just like, I win. You suck. That's a thing.
Yeah, unless they get away with chasing you like this, like some people do. So. Yeah. I don't know how that happens, but they win.
I don't know.
I don't match their proximity, but I match their
angle. Are you going to go compete in Drift Masters or D1 or anywhere else?
Dude, that'd be cool. I would love to go to Drift Masters. It'd be sick to go. I just like to drive, so
Do you have that in the works?
No. Nope.
So no.
Nope, not in the works.
Not if it's not in the works.
It's not in the works right now. So
cool.
It's it's like a pen and paper thing. It's like I wrote it down.
Oh, you write a check with
yeah, and then eventually it's like that.
Something?
Yeah, that piece of paper turns into like. A thought, and then a goal, and then the dream, and then you actually.
Do you actually have a goal wall and dream wall?
No.
A dream journal?
I'm not gonna lie to you, so no.
Okay.
I could lie and be sound really cool, but yeah, dude, I write it all down. No. I just set goals in my head, and I know what I want, and if I want it, I'm gonna go after until I get it.
Well, amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time. I am very excited for when was the last time we did one? 3 years ago we did an interview with you, or 2 years? Anyways, every couple years we do a little interview, and it's amazing how fast his career in racing is advancing. It'll be interesting to see if it kind of plateaus, or if you just keep going to the moon, and what is above this? Because right now, FD is kind of static on spectator numbers, and Drift Masters is going crazy. Maybe Formula D will somehow copy that and have 60,000 people in a stadium or something now that they've lost Irwindale. Will they just pick another shitty oval track that is cheap to rent but has stadium seating and all this stuff and work? Or are they going to go to a Coliseum and go crazy?
That's what we're pushing them. Us as drivers, that's what we're pushing them, because it's a fan experience, and FD's all about the fan experience. Because you go to NASCAR and you can't just go walk in the pits and go look at the cars and go see around all that stuff. And FD is just a huge fan experience, so that's what they want. They want to get the fans more involved and So do us a stadium, bro.
That'd be
Build
crazy.
us a freaking Drift Coliseum, and even if it's a little bit bigger than Englishtown, something like that. It's got seatings on both sides. You can see so much. You got your suites over here. It's a perfect drift track. We just need something like that, because it's going to bring more fans. Nobody wants to go to a drift event and stand the whole time. Sorry. It's fun. I'll do it. I've done it several times, but it's I
have that problem with my events. They're not spectator based, and that's why a lot of events that are spectator based are at circle tracks, because they have natural stadium that's close enough, everything. Even NASCAR with 200,000 people of stadiums seating, the seating's in the wrong place and you can't use it, so you have to build bleachers in front of it so you can get close enough. So I was gonna say that's a really big problem, and it'll be interesting to see if they try and solve that at some point and try and grow drifting beyond, because it's been pretty stagnant in spectator numbers since 2003 or something like that. To take it to that next level. Because Irwindale is probably the biggest place that ever really sells out for drifting. And it was sold out for like 2003 JGTC, like D1 experience or whatever it was called back then, or 2001 or whatever it was. And then it's always been, that is the biggest event in America for spectators. So, but you have all these LZ World Tours and like all the other stuff pulling in people. It'll be interesting to see what the next thing is and what you'll be driving in. I kind of expect, by the way, Drift Masters will be in America within the next few years for a World Series event kind of thing, and they'll do it somewhere. They're only going to do it if it's big, and it's like a dick stamp on top of another series. Like, yo, look at what we did. We just did 6 times the people or something like that. I think that's kind of, if FD doesn't do it, they're going to do it, and they're going to do it in a fashion that is so like stamp their mark on it, like, one event in America, motherfucker, and it's the biggest thing on earth. So I was gonna say maybe that's it.
Maybe that's it, dude. I've definitely heard rumors about Drift Masters coming to America.
Yeah,
so,
I think it's gonna be very difficult for them to do it though, just from the perspective of they need it has to be big. Can't be half stepping.
No, has to be
whatever.
Huge.
Has to be huge because the Poland event has put that on the map. It basically has to be 50,000 people plus.
I feel like they would just like try to work with like LZ or something to help out with hosting something like that, because if he can pull in so many people, and he's going out there and he brought a lot of people out there. Like the kid, he's amazing. What he does, how he does it, But I feel like that could be a future thing, like him helping out with the American Series, because he has access to so many different resources here. You know what I mean? So. I just feel like that wouldn't be a bad idea for them to.
No, but getting from like the 10,000 mark up to the 50,000 or 60,000 mark requires you to start marketing to people that are a little bit outside the normal drift community and like creating an experience for families and everything else. So it will have to be a different model. It'll have to be a different model of facilities, seating, track. Like FD doesn't pave tracks like Drift Masters does and like do all the weird logistics. And I don't know if Drift Masters can necessarily do that in America cost effectively, because they own Bud, Matt, and Worthhouse in Poland. So they own all the construction equipment, they own the asphalt, they own the people, they own everything, and they can do it cost effectively and cheaper than you could in America, especially because in America you have to have unions at all these stadiums, I think, do stuff. And it would probably cost 10 times as much to build out one of those events in America as it would there. So it depends if the Red Bull wants to spend that much money and everybody wants to spend that much money to do it. So it'll be interesting. I think it'll be a big hurdle. I think right now Formula D does a good job of riding that line of cost effectiveness, finding the best venues that fit, and then making a circle track work. And like Irwindale. Irwindale was kind of a gym because it's like an end of life facility that's cheap, but has the seating, but also has a relationship of close to LA, all these things all in one space.
And it's a sick track, fans love it. It's pretty dangerous.
Very specific.
Very dangerous track too. I was
gonna say very specific, all those things come together, and if you don't have that, it doesn't matter.
Yep, I agree. I'm excited to see what the future holds for drifting, period.
Cool, okay, thank you so much. Goodbye, audience.
Bye.
Bye.
Sick.
Thank you, Ben. Go have fun.
Absolutely.
There you go.